Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. So yesterday I received this box, this parcel here, from a new pen maker over here in Australia that I've ordered from. So his name's Rod Roncari. He's fairly new to making pens. So I thought, let's have a look at some of his offerings. So here we have the box. It's got a nice thank you on it. I'm just going to quickly show you the pen. Then I'll close it up so we can do a more detailed look. So here's the pen. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous handmade pen. Even comes with an extra nib, which is awesome. So join me now down on the table. We'll unbox this pen properly. We'll take a look at it, do a walk through the body, do some size comparisons, fill it with ink, do a writing sample. Then I'll give you my first impressions on it. Welcome down to the table. Here we've got the pen. This is the pen box. So you saw the outer box. In there was this bag inside which was contained the box. It was wrapped really well in bubble wrap. Absolutely exceptional packaging. Plastic bag, so I'll just take that off. It's been off a few times. I keep putting this back together. I've already had the pen out and I've already cleaned out the pen and the nib. Let's pop the bag to the side. So first thing we've got in there is we have a letter from Rod, who's the maker. So it's Rod Roncari. A little bit about his story, also a little bit about the pen. So it's made from red morel burl, Eucalyptus longicornis from southwest Western Australia. Its growing range starts about half an hour to an hour's drive from where I live. Part of the reason why I liked the idea of this wood. And he's giving you some information. So he cast the burl in resin using what he believes to be the most vivid red mica on the market, Yamagata red from eye candy pigments in the US. So there's a little bit about the pen. I love this idea. I think this is an attention to detail. A little bit about his journey as well. I thought that was absolutely awesome. Then we've got a box here. It's a white plain box. I managed to open it upside down. We've got thank you there. So let's open the box. Nice black holder here. So again, just plain black. Let's open this. Have I got it the right way up? No, I haven't. I've got it upside down. So here we've got the pen. In there, there's also a spare nib. These are Bock nibs. Now, this is a nib that was actually installed on the pen. Nib that came with in the bag initially, that was a broad. So I've swapped the nibs. This is a medium. Purely because I like my broad nib, so I thought, let's try it with a broad first. Let's ease the pen out. I'll leave that spare nib in there for the moment. Pop that to one side, and I'll fetch in my pen rest. So here we've got the Rod Roncari pen. Just look at this beauty. That is so pretty. It's got a gloss finish to it, or it feels glossy, very nice, very smooth. Mesmerised by the looks of this. Let's start by having a walk through the body. We'll start with the cap. So we've got a slight dome on the end. This is in the wood. So you can see here the wood, we've got the different colours there. So we've got dark, coming out to this nice pale, almost blonde end. Really well cut. It must have took him ages to cut this. Then we're going into that mica. Again, just look at the way that's got that stripes in there. So it matches the idea of a natural look. The cap, to my eye, same width, comes down slightly. Now, one thing here I'm noticing, could just be the way I've got it on, but the cap, there's a little gap between the cap and the body. I actually like that. I think that looks quite nice, that little bit of space. Got some more of that gorgeous resin. Then we go back into the wood again. And again with the body, it's about the same width till we get to about 2/3 of the way down. Then I can feel it starting to taper down to a slightly domed end. I love the way that we've got a little bit of it's not symmetry, but we've got wood, mica, wood. It looks so nice. Let's take the cap off. So I'm going to put my fingers there and we go half, one turn. That's all it takes. That reveals the section. Nice long section, slight concaveness to it in that same mica, so in that same resin. Again, looks very nice. Attention to detail, that's major to me, and that's what you're getting with this pen. Then that reveals here the bot nib. So this is a bot. Most of my other pens that I've had from makers over here in Australia, I've got Yoho nibs. I've got one with a cypress nib. Now I've got one here with a bot nib. Nice decorative nib. So there we've got nice border, got the logo and bot. I say this one is a broad nib. If we unscrew the body, very smooth. The thread's very, very smooth. No catching, no jumping, anything like that. Here we've got the converter. As I say, I've already cleaned the converter out. Just a gorgeous looking pen. And you can see the attention to detail in it. Let's pop this back together. So there's the cap back on. Let's swap over. We'll do some size comparisons. My two standard size comparisons. Pilot Metropolitan, Lamy Safari. Don't they look small compared to this pen? They really do look tiny. It's a beautifully sized pen. I like large pens, so to me it's ideal. Let's take the caps off. With the caps off, still it's a large pen. The section wider than the others, the body wider than the others. The nib, we can see now that number 6 nib in comparison to the number 5, Japanese number 5 on the Metropolitan and the Lamy nib. In the hand, it's very nice, got a nice gorgeous length. The section does feel a little bit on the thin side, but that's just me. But it's not uncomfortable, and I can see this being quite good for long writing sessions. My fingers not squashing against each other. I do hold my pens right down near the bottom of the section. Will it post? No, it doesn't post. Which, to be honest, is good, because I wouldn't want to mar the beauty of this by scratching it when I post it. It's a nice length. It feels very well balanced in my hand. Let's get these all out of the way. We'll fetch in the ink and we'll fill it up. So here we've got my ink holding block, fetching it in because I'm going to use Robert Oster ink, so that fits in there quite nicely. I've decided to go for terracotta. What I'm trying to do with all my Australian pens, for the first fill, I'm trying to use an Australian ink. So I thought, yeah, let's try terracotta. I think that'll go quite well with this. So I'll say I've already cleaned this all out. That's down at the bottom. Let's pop it in and see if we can fill it up. I know you can't really see much. Just try to see if I get my hand a little bit better there for you to hopefully see it. But look at that. That converter virtually full there. We just clean it off and get this all out of the way. Then I'll fetch in the notepad of testing. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Here we've got the notepad of testing. Oxford Optic paper. It's a black and red notebook, A5 in size. Here's the pen. Again, I can't stop staring at it. It's very, very pretty to look at. So we've got here a Rod Roncari. And it's red moral. Pearl. Got a broader nib on there. Price wise, it's a handmade pen. You don't expect it to be cheap. 200 Aussie dollars. I think that's exceptionally good value for what I'm getting here. The ink is by Robert Oster, and it's terracotta. Drying times, so we go immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds, smudging just a teeny bit. Just for belt and braces, I'll do 1 minute. One minute, strangely enough, that's smudging again. I think though that's because I'd put more ink down there. But when we look at it, it's a reasonably good drying combo. Let's look at line variation. So here's no pressure. Going to add some pressure. Yeah, we're getting a slightly wider line. None, with, none, with, none, and with. So it seems to be putting down a little bit more ink when I put a bit of pressure on it. Let's move the mic and write a sentence. That's quite nice. This, to be honest, is my first real exposure to a bottle nib. Yes, I've got some bottle nibs that I bought on a couple of my Moonman pens, but they were fines and they were bought from China. This is the first time that I'm aware of that I'm actually using a bottle nib on a non-Chinese pen. I'm finding the nib is a bit stiff and the line it's putting down at the moment isn't as wide as I see with my Yoho broads. I will do another video in a while where I compare them all, but it's still nice, it's still enjoyable. There's still a bit of feedback. It's a very stiff nib, but we're getting some nice shading coming through with this. Flow test. So here's going forward. And here's going backwards. It's enjoyable to write with, nice audible feedback. Hopefully that's coming over. So what are my thoughts and my first impressions for this pen? The first thing I'm going to say, this is a handmade pen. When you get a handmade pen, really what you're buying, yes, it's a fountain pen. It's also a bit of a work of art, isn't it? Just think about the time, the energy, the thought that's gone into making this pen. Absolutely amazing. It's a stunning looking pen. The line it puts down, it's very nice. It's enjoyable. As I say, it's my first exposure to a bottle nib. So it's going to be interesting experimenting with that and playing around with that as well. I like the shading that I'm seeing in this ink. It's not an overly wet combo, which is going to be nice. So when I'm making my notes, I can see this being a really good note-taking pen. It's quick to uncap. It's a turn. Quick to put the cap back on. So as I'm thinking, as I'm reading source material to make my notes with, I can be making sure I'm quickly capping and uncapping. Whereas with some pens, where it takes a couple of turns, sometimes I find that it can take me out of my note-taking. The notes themselves, I can see them drying quite quickly. So again, that's where this is going to really come in nicely. So I'll be able to quickly change pages, turn pages over, without having to worry and wait for ink to dry, again taking me out of what I'm doing. The pen is very comfortable, very nice to hold, very nice to use. The nib, that stiffness, I actually quite like it. It gives a nice tactileness to it when I'm writing, and that's part of what I like. I like the character. I like the feel of the nib on paper. Get that with this pen. All in all, I think it's just a superb package, and I highly recommend check out Rod's pen offerings over on Instagram. Get in touch with him, have a chat with him. I think this is going to be a maker. I can see myself buying more pens from him during the next few months. So they're my thoughts and my first impressions on the Rod Roncari Red Moral Burl with Robert Oster Terracotta. Isn't this a stunning pen? Absolutely beautiful to look at. You know, look at this beauty, absolutely gorgeous. I'm really looking forward to getting to use this more. Really nice, feels nice, very nice finish to it. What are your thoughts on handmade pens? Have you got any? Do you like trying out new makers? You know, I'd seen these advertised on Instagram. I thought, let's give it a try. Ever so pleased that I did. Please drop your comments down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.